Melan Saniwanani. Hello and welcome to the SA Property Investors Network Coffee Chat. Yes, it's Coffee Chat brought to you by the SA Property Investors Network. It's been a while. It actually has been a while. It's a pleasure to see you guys. We're always having these every 2 weeks. So because it's bi-weekly, I don't get to see you as often. However, it gives me the chance to actually bring in phenomenal guests, people who are in the industry, who have insight into the current trends that are happening in the property space. And that's no different about this week. We have a phenomenal gentleman who's the product manager at Absa. Yes, we have Dion Naidoo, who I'm going to be bringing in just a little bit later. However, I want to talk about the upcoming events we're going to be having in the next couple of months. And I'm literally going to go through everything. So I need you guys to take note and actually go to our website. The link is in the chat box. And as always, I need you guys to understand we're going to be speaking to the product manager, okay, of home loans at Absa. So please put your questions in early because we do not get access to people like this on a daily basis. But because I'm a nice person and I'm giving, and I feel like the table is not only big enough, it is infinite in terms of the property space and becoming a property investor. Okay, I bring you phenomenal guests. So for those of you who are new, brand spanking, when you're trying to understand what is this thing called Coffee Chat with the SA Property, well, it is a coffee chat that gives you information about property and all things encompassing the property space. So we have all kinds of guests like product managers, conveyancing attorneys, evictions attorneys, town planners, anything you can think of that you would encounter in the property space, we have that. So in the chat box, I need you guys to tell me where you're watching me from. If you're new, and I just need a thumbs up for the coffee chat. Yes, but in the meantime, I am going to be letting you guys know about all the events that we are going to be having. And it's a lot, because we're just here to give information and to educate you guys. Okay, so the first one is that tomorrow, on the 12th of March, we're going to be having a member support webinar. 14th of March, we're not going to be having anything on that date. I do know that some of you had prepared for a preview, but we've actually moved it to the 23rd of April, so please just make that correction. Then also we are going to be having simultaneously on the 23rd of March, that is a networking breakfast in Durban. Yes, all of my Durbanites. We're going to be having a quick networking breakfast in there with our area manager. So I'm hoping to see all of you guys that side. On the 25th, and I need you guys to make note of this, we're going to be having a coffee chat that discusses what not to do. We're always telling you what to do. We're always giving you advice. Now we're going to be telling you what not to do in terms of property. And this one is going to be very exciting because we're going to be having a resident property investor elite and head coach, Daniel Kazadi, for that one. On the 26th of March, we're going to be having our mastermind, and that's happening online. And this is for pro and youth members. Yes, youth members, you guys have an opportunity to join one of our masterminds. On the 6th of April, ladies, how are you doing? We are going to be discussing finances. This is a real topic for us. We are going to be discussing finances on the 6th of April. And again, simultaneously, we're going to be having our 2-day workshop. Yes, 2 full days, which is practical property investing. That's going to be happening on the 6th and 7th. Tickets are still available, just a little bit, but go to our website so you can actually action that. And the link is in the chat box. Also, we're going to be having a networking event, a full-blown one, not just a breakfast, in Durban on the 18th of April. So Durbanites, I know you guys are chilled and you're mellow, so we're giving you enough time to actually figure out if you're going to be coming to this one. Then on the 27th and the 28th of April, we're having our first ever, I need you to hear me, our first ever practical property investing in East London, okay? We went to East London last year. You guys showed us some love and you said you'd love to learn more. You're absolutely down for us having a practical property investing workshop that side. And you spoke and we listened. So on the 27th and the 28th, we're going to be having that. Then on the 25th of May, ladies, again, we're going to be having a strategy, which is because we're going into winter. However, we're going to be discussing the buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat model in Rivonia. Try saying that 6 times really fast. But yes, we're going to be having a women's event again on the 25th of May. Now we're heading into June. Carly, this is a lot of events. Yes, it is. But I want to make sure you have a roundup of everything that we're going to be doing in the next quarter. Next is on the 7th of June. We're going to be having an event for young professionals celebrating Youth Month and all the youth that actually paved the way for our youth to be able to get into things such as property. Then on the 15th of June, that's going to be happening. And then on the 17th of August, I'm super excited for this one. And this is for the ladies again. It is the annual women's event, the one that some of you have attended and you understand how phenomenal it is. And that's going to be happening on the 17th of August. However, and this is a big one, and I'm waiting for you guys to be entering. I know a few of you have already started. Investor of the Year Award. I cannot stress it enough. I cannot let you guys know that we are quickly approaching. It's going to be happening on the 14th of September at Shepston Gardens, right? And that's going to be happening on the 14th of September. So I need you guys to start entering. And who knows, you could be the next Investor of the Year Award. And if I do say so myself, it is the most important property award show in the country. Whew. That was a mouthful. But now I'm going to be heading back to you guys, and I just want to know. So I'm seeing a few of you actually letting me know and getting the questions out and rolling, and I really, really appreciate that. So I'm seeing Safari. She's from Cape Town. We have a few other people who are already asking questions, and I absolutely love that. But let's get this ball on the road and start with our questions. So we always have some preset questions that we ask you guys on Facebook, and you give us those, and this is what we start off with. So let me give a huge applause, and please put some handshakes or some claps in the chat box for this phenomenal gentleman, and that's Dion Naidoo. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon, Kali, and good afternoon to the viewers. Thanks for having me today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you can come out of your busy schedule to just talk to us and our viewers. So we really appreciate that. So first and foremost, let's get to it. I'm not sure if you already noticed that people want knowledge. People are Absa clients and they want to know. So what we want to know is we're going to be discussing rental options today. And I think one of the forefront things that people always want to know is that what are the available for financing a rental property?
Sorry, Kali, you broke up there.
Oh, pardon me. The question was, what are the available loan terms for financing a rental property?
Thank you, Kali. So, Kali, the normal financing term is 20 years. However, customers have the option of taking their home loans over a 30-year period. Obviously, there's a few factors that we'll take into account when actually deciding on the loan term that will be afforded to you. Obviously, if you're older, we've got to take that into consideration, but usually it's 20 years.
Okay, so the standard would be at 20 years, give or take, you do have the option of extending. Okay. Then we also have the question is that are there any specific criteria or benefits for a higher down payment? Because oftentimes people are not too sure if they're allowed to do it, one, and also will there be a change in terms of their down payment? So I want to know what are the specific criteria or benefits for a higher down payment in the beginning?
Okay. Thank you, Kali. That's a great question. So the criteria for a down payment, I think first and foremost, right, a down payment or deposit will be based on your risk profile in terms of you, the individual applicant, and that of the property that you intend purchasing. Therefore, that down payment will vary from one customer to another. But applicants and properties that are of a lower risk will obviously, qualify for a higher loan. That means the less of a down payment to actually put down as such. What are the benefits of putting down a down payment? I think this is where the viewers need to be mindful that a higher down payment can assist clients in getting a higher upfront concession or a better interest rate on the application. Right? Further, a upfront deposit also allows you to basically, lower the amount of interest that you pay over the term of the loan. And I want to basically use a practical example, right? Using an example of a loan for 1 million rands over a 20-year period at the current rate of prime, right? You will pay approximately 1.6 million rands in interest. But let's just say you put down a 10% deposit, which is 100,000 rands. That 1.6 million drops to 1.4 million, just in terms of your interest repayments over that 20-year period. So that's a savings of 160,000 rands. And let's take that further. Let's say you've got, more savings that you put away over the years, and you're able to put on a higher down payment. So if you put on a 15% down payment, on that example of R1,000,000, you'll probably save 240,000 rands. And to take it a step further, if you put on 20%, you'll save 328,000 rands just in your interest cost. So, Kali, it's advisable if customers do have a deposit or a down payment that they can put down towards the purchase of the next property, we encourage them to do so. Not only will that, stand in their favor in terms of the interest rate that they could possibly qualify for upfront in terms of the down payment, but also, it will benefit them over the long term.
Yeah, that is quite a saving, Dion. And that is definitely something that helps out in the long run in terms of saving up for that. Okay, and as we keep the questions rolling, the next one that we have, and this is an interesting one, is that are there restrictions on the type or location of rental properties that qualify for financing?
Okay. Um, there's no restrictions in terms of the location of the property, right? We finance a property and we'll take the property's location into consideration as part of our risk assessment as per the normal criteria. I think from the type of loans that we tend to finance from a property type point of view, these are usually residential properties. They need to be either freestanding, duet, sectional title properties that you can qualify for finance for. There are some exclusions in terms of our buy-to-let proposition that we offer our investor customers out in the marketplace. So things like small holdings, vacant land, building loans, commercial property, any application that has a state guarantee, for example, the first home finance guarantee associated to it, or if it's a first time home buyer wanting to apply for more than 100% loan, we tend to actually, um, exclude those property types from the buy to let offering itself from an Absa perspective.
Okay, that's actually really great because this echoes on to the next question because I know this is a genuine myth. I have actually heard this, throughout life where people actually sometimes believe this. So it's great that you're here to just let us know about this. And this is an important question, which is, are there any penalties for paying off a loan early or making additional payments? Because I know I've heard this, and I'm pretty sure you might have heard this too, where people are like, no, you're not allowed to do that, or you're not supposed to do, the bank doesn't like that. So, here we are with Dion, the product manager, telling us, like, are there any penalties for paying off a loan early?
Another great question there, Kali. And I think one of the viewers actually posted a question in the chat as well. So paying off your home loan early. So, I mean, to the viewers out there, there's no penalties as such, but you are required to give your bank 3 months notice in order to cancel your home loan account. So that notice needs to be provided to your bank. And normally that takes into consideration 3 months of installments together with interest in terms of that period that you intend giving notice. And obviously that's calculated pro rata, all depending when your bond is cancelled and when the installment is due on that bond. In terms of additional deposit, definitely no penalties as such. In actual fact, we encourage customers that have disposable income to actually pay more towards their bonds. Because not only do you actually, reduce the term of your repayment, you'll also be saving on interest by paying more into your bond. So if you have the means, please, pay more into your bonds.
Fantastic. So there you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. You are not going to get into trouble. If anything, it is encouraged that you actually have additional payments and try to pay off your loan in as fast as possible in your capacity. And lastly, from the ask questions right before we go into the questions, because I can see it's buzzing in the chat box and people want to know. The last question we have, Dion, is what are the eligibility criteria for securing finance for a rental property?
Thank you, Kali. Now, Kali, I'm sure most of your viewers will be familiar with our buy-to-let proposition that we offer and the uniqueness of that proposition being the future rental income offer. We are the only bank in South Africa that allows prospective investors that want to grow their property portfolios to actually utilize future rental income where they don't need to have a signed lease agreement in place. We will basically take the estimated market value of that property and we'll basically take a percentage of that into consideration as part of the affordability assessment. So in that regard, some of the eligibility criteria for the use of future rental income from an Absa perspective will be the fact that you need to own one existing property and you must be buying your second or more property. And that could be in your personal name, it could be in the name of a legal entity, a company, a trust, etc. And then obviously, you need to be a director or a trustee of that legal entity. The existing property can be bonded or bond free. And then our normal affordability and risk assessment criteria will apply as a bank. So that's the eligibility criteria that I can basically voice over, without going into specific details because each customer's risk profile, the risk profile of the property they intend buying, differs from one investor to another.
That's very interesting. So we're going to the questions. I'm not sure if you've technically answered this, but I think it's still best if I still ask. So Sabelo wants to know, early question, I need to know how much does Absa charge to cancel a bond for 250K that is maybe 3 months old. He wants to budget for a flip.
All right. Sabelo, thank you for that question. And Sabelo, those fees for canceling a bond, right? Besides the 3 months when you give your 3-month notice, whereby the bank will take your installment interest over the next 3 months, there's an additional cost that's payable for the cancellation of the actual bond. And that fee is payable to a bond cancellation attorney, which the bank will appoint once it receives your notice. Now, normally, that fee ranges between 4 to 5,000 rands. So when you're doing this, budget between 4 to 5,000 rands, and that will basically be approximately what you'll be liable for.
Okay, fantastic. So as we keep it going, we have Adi. I assume they are a foreign international, and they say they're interested in what kind of option Absa would offer for non-residents, if there are any.
Most definitely. And Adi, good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us from Romania. So we do have an international mortgages proposition, and I'll be happy to share more details with you. If you pop your details in the chat, I'll send you some information around our international mortgage offering. And yeah, we can discuss further, via email. There's some requirements you need to be mindful of. And that's from, besides our lending requirements, there's also some Reserve Bank requirements that I'll need to mention to you as well and elaborate on.
Okay, fantastic. That is great. We have Safira who wants to know, again, I think you might have touched on this, but we'll still give Safira her love. So Safira wants to know, please let me know what is the criteria needed to be met for Absa's buy-to-let loans. So I think, your buy-to-let loans or your future rental one, what would be the criteria be?
So, Sira, thank you for that question. And Sira, you've got to be an existing property investor, or basically owning an existing property as a first-time home buyer. At least you need to own one property in order to benefit from the future rental income proposition if you intend placing reliance on future rental income as part of your application. If you have an existing property and renting it out and you're earning existing rental income on that, we'll also take that into consideration as part of your affordability assessment. And then future rental income will help you in terms of that second property you intend buying, whereby we take a market estimated value of that rental that you project to receive and consider that as part of your affordability assessment.
Aha, okay. So those are actually quite interesting criteria. So Dion, just a quick one. Garabo says, thanks for this engagement, Dion. So just thought I should let you know. However, as we keep the questions going, we have Shawwao. I apologize if I mispronounced that. And they would like to know, they're saying, I am viewing a property as a rental investment, but I want to add 2 units. Could I get finance for the building for additional units?
Okay. Is Shafal referring to multi-lets possibly here? Can I get finance for building of additional units?
I think then answer it both ways. If it's multi-let or if it's dwellings, like extended dwellings, like a cottage or something in the back.
Well, Kali, the way we approach this, right? If you've got the requisite, approvals from the town council, approved building plans, and it's not a multi-let as such, obviously, there's a building loan process that we actually enable customers to go through, and we provide finance for. There's a few things that you need to be mindful of when embarking on a building loan. It's normally a 9-month period, right, from our perspective as Absa, that we offer building loans over, a maximum of 6 draws, and obviously to ensure that you've done your budgeting in terms of not running into any shortfalls once you start the project. Because what we tend to find is that when a customer embarks on a building loan contract, they tend to underestimate the costs involved. And usually when it comes after the 9 months, there's a shortfall. So always make sure that you have a 10%, savings available to actually complete your building should you run into any of those shortfall mishaps as such. In terms of multi-lets, if you intend doing a multi-let where you're basically going to expand on the two existing rental properties, again, we assess that on a case-by-case basis. Very important, you need to have the zoning in place for multi-lets to be erected onto your property. You need to have approved plans. That's basically not just signed off by the architecture, but approved by the council as well. And obviously, support, all the required supporting documents that normally accompanies a finance application will be submitted, and our credit lending team will assess the merits of that on a case by case basis.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much for that detailed explanation, and I hope that helps you, Shawal. Next, we keep it rolling with Samgelo. He wants to know, following the question of paying off your bond early, should you instruct the banker that it's for the home loan? I've heard that if you don't make them aware, it doesn't reduce your loan amount.
Well, normally customers tend to deposit these monies directly into their own loan accounts as such, and then they tend to draw that down via an access facility. However, in that situation, right, you should instruct your banker that any prepaid funds that you deposit into your account should be basically capitalized against your outstanding balance. That is if you want to pay off your bond sooner and you actually want to save on interest. If you do not inform your banker that you intend, that's your primary goal and objective, those funds will lie there for your use, right? A portion of it, and then just a small portion will amortize over the life of the loan. So when you deposit additional funds into your bond account, speak to your banker. And if you don't need access to those funds, it's advisable to capitalize that against your outstanding balance. That's when you will see the reduction, in terms of the interest that you save and the ability to repay your bond off sooner. Further, it's advisable if you adopt that kind of strategy that you actually, you choose a fixed debit order amount. Always ensure that fixed debit order amount is more than what the home loan repayment would normally be, because rates do increase. And if the rates increase and you're in a fixed debit order and it doesn't adjust in line with the new repayments, you could be underpaying your home loan and run into arrears as such. So if you are doing a fixed repayment, paying more than what you currently owe the bank in terms of monthly, that's another strategy that you can deploy. And then you can ask the bank to always, capitalize those amounts in terms of the higher repayment that you're making towards your bond.
Okay. So this one isn't necessarily a question, but I felt it would be a disservice if I didn't mention this, because I think this person has worked with you, and it's from Johnny. And he says, I had the privilege to collaborate with Dion and his team. I can confidently attest to their exceptional capabilities and dedication. Dion Naidoo exemplifies excellence in every aspect of his work, consistently delivering results that exceed expectations. His professionalism, expertise, and commitment to excellence set a remarkable standard within Absa Bank. It has truly been an honor to work alongside Dion and his team, witnessing firsthand their unwavering dedication to achieving success. Mr. Swartz. So Dion, whoever Mr. Swartz is, he just sends you a huge thank you, because he says you were absolutely amazing. So we're going to be keeping the questions forward. We have Edgar, who says, I have paid a lump sum into my bond, but my monthly installment has not reduced. What do I need to do?
Thank you, Kari. And just to acknowledge Mr. Swartz. Mr. Swartz, we hear, your story matters to us as a bank, and you're always welcome to reach out to us. Edgar, thank you for that question. So, Edgar, you've paid a lump sum into your bond. What do you need to do? If you're banking with us, you're welcome to call our home loan customer care center. You can speak to one of our friendly agents, and they will basically, what you need to inform them that you want to capitalize the amounts that you've paid in lump sum against your outstanding balance, and that will basically reduce your installment immediately on your bond as such going forward. But you've got to give them the instruction that you want to capitalize that amount against your outstanding balance as such.
Okay,
And you're welcome.
fantastic.
Kali, Edgar's welcome to reach out to me as well directly, and I
Yes,
can put him in touch with
absolutely.
colleagues.
So we're going to keep it moving. We have Nadeem, who also has a question. So I'm not sure if this was a continuation of a question that I missed, but he says, so it's one. That's good to know. I was on Absa's website and it started, oh, yes, that is a continuation when you explain that your future rental is actually one property. As long as you have
Thanks
one
very much.
primary property, you do that thing. So now we're going to Sabelo. Sabelo wants to know, can me canceling the loan of 3 months affect my future loan applications with Absa? I think this was from the first gentleman who was saying he wants to do a flip. So what would the issue, would there be an issue if he cancels in 3 months? And you explained there isn't. But now he wants to know, can me canceling the loan of 3 months affect my future loan applications where he actually maybe wants to buy a primary residence with Absa?
So, Sabella, when you're submitting your application, there's one of the questions that we ask you: will you be canceling an existing bond? So, in actual fact, you will actually, complete that as yes. You will indicate the amount that you intend canceling that repayment on that bond for, and we actually take that into your affordability assessment. So it doesn't hold against you negatively as such. It actually contributes in terms of your ability to service the debt on the additional new property that you're taking on, because we actually take that into consideration based on the fact that you intend canceling that bond.
Okay. So am I forward in saying it could technically work in your favor to say that you were able to finish the bond quickly?
Yeah, no, I mean, with flipping, unfortunately, that's the strategy that investors utilize. They're disposing of one property, they're embarking on the next property. So, as part of our application process, we actually do ask the question: are you canceling, and the process of canceling a bond, and then we tend to factor that repayment back into the affordability assessment of the customer.
Okay, so I see there's a question from Safira, and she wants to know who can help her with that. So definitely, you can contact Dion. You can also contact us at support, and we can forward that for you. So Safira, by all means, and anybody who's viewing and maybe has some questions or is struggling with some home loans, please do not hesitate to contact Dion. But as we're going into wrapping up, we also have, let's see. Oh, Shawal says, thanks for the explanation. Is it the preferred contact person for the department we contact to discuss our requirements and buildings work? So that would be Dion. We'll be able to contact Dion. And then Leon says, nice to see you again, Dion. Congrats and best wishes. Yes. So that was that was very, very insightful, Dion. I think you helped a lot of our viewers with their pressing questions in terms of not feeling like they understand or not feeling like they know who to go to or where to go to actually have their questions answered. So thank you so much for that in terms of honestly unpacking and finally explaining certain things that our viewers had issues with.
Kali, thank you for the opportunity to represent Absa, and to your viewers, please do share my details. They're welcome to reach out to me, and we are here to help you on your journey to grow and manage your property portfolio investments. So please do reach out to me, and I'll gladly link you up to other colleagues in your specific regions and help you where we can. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Fantastic. And then before we say goodbye, Dion, I just want to know if you have any parting words for people who want to purchase rental properties or are specifically getting home loans for rental properties and for investments.
Kali, given where we are at this point in time, it's one's got to acknowledge that it's tough economic climate, right? So when you're thinking about investing in property, don't do it from the heart, do it from the mind, right? Do your calculations, do your sums, do your homework, research the area you intend buying in, get an understanding of what the average rental yields are in that area. And we, as a bank, we offer various tools and reports via our partnerships that we've established to enable you to make these informed decisions. So do your homework, do your numbers, make sure that you'll be, able to cover your repayments should any eventualities, befall your tenants as such. If you have good tenants, hold on to them. There's still some time to go before we actually expect rates to come down, right? So we're hoping that they come down sooner, but all estimations are that we're looking at probably June or so when we'll see our first rate cut. So do your sums, prepare yourself, and do it from a point of view of having your numbers, bedded down before we embark on the journey. And again, we are here to help you on this journey and to partner with you. Thank you, Khalid.
Fantastic. We have one more question that just slipped in, and I think it'd be a disservice if we didn't ask it. Kevlin wants to know, does Absa still offer discounts on first-time home buyers in terms of transfer and lawyer fees?
We've actually replaced those discounts with cashback incentives. So I can actually share more information with Calvin. Please do share my details with Calvin. Calvin
Absolutely.
will basically send you the offering in terms of what we have to offer our first-time home buyers. Besides those, transfer fees and things like that. There's also, loans up to 105% if you qualify as a first-time home buyer in terms of that can help you in terms of your journey as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dion, for joining us. Thank you for imparting your knowledge and also honestly helping our viewers. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I also bid you farewell, I just want to give you a quick roundup of the events that are going to be happening in the recent future. So, as we said, that on the 12th of March, which is tomorrow, we're going to be having a support webinar. Then on the 23rd of March, we're going to be having a breakfast in Durban. We were going to have an event on the 14th of March, which is a free networking workshop preview. Unfortunately, we are going to have to move that to the 23rd, so please just make the adjustment for that. The link is in the chat box. Next, we're going to be having the coffee chat. The next coffee chat is on the 25th of March, and we're going to be discussing what not to do. The 26th of March is the mastermind. Ordinarily, it's for professional members only, but now it is also going to be for youth members. On the 6th of April, it's for the ladies. We're going to be discussing accessing finance, I beg your pardon, in Rivonia. So please check that out. And then on the 6th and 7th, simultaneously, we are going to be having our practical property workshop. That's 2 full days of knowledge and education. Then on the 18th of April, we're having a networking event in Durban. The 27th and the 28th, we're having a practical property investing workshop in East London. Yes, you heard me correctly. East London, please get your tickets. Then on the 25th of May, we're going to be having another Women's Day event discussing the buy, renovate, rent, and refinance and repeat model in terms of being a property investor. 7th of June, I need you guys to look out for the annual youth event. Yes, this is for the youth. It's going to be happening on Youth Month. And then on the 15th of June, we're also going to be having another event. Lastly, on the 17th of August, we're going to be having the annual Women's Day event, and exactly it is on Women's Month. And lastly, Investor of the Year Award. I urge each and every single one of you to enter. It is going to be happening on the 14th of September 2024 at Chepson Gardens, and that's for everybody, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or you're in the big leagues. It does not matter. We have a category for you, so please enter Investor of the Year Award. And as always, from me to you is